Hello and welcome back to the Nasty Metal Productions channel here at YouTube, and welcome to another Friday review. Today I am here to review Might and Power, the second album from Swiss epic heavy metal band Megaton Sword. Now, this was initially released on, well, both digitally and on cassette on February 24th via Dying Victims Productions. However, it is today that both the CD and vinyl versions of this have finally been released onto the masses. So, without further ado, let's begin, shall we? Now, before I get into any of my thoughts on Might and Power, you know what I have to do. I have to do a track listing rundown so I can tell you folks what are the songs are on this album, how many tracks are on this album, and what is the time length for this album. Since this at least, well, consists a total of 8 tracks, it clocks in at the length of 39 minutes and 23 seconds. So, these 8 tracks are, well, beginning with The Raving Light of Day, Iron Plains, Power, Cowards Remain, Rakatsi, All Wicked Schemes Unite, Might, and then finally ending with Babe Eternal. So there you go, folks. There's your 8 tracks. I don't think I'm ever going to stop doing that, folks. That's just a, well, has been my way to tell you what I'm going to do right now, and that's, well, read as much of my notes as possible. Okay, let's go on. Now, I was familiar with their debut, well, album from 3 years ago, which was titled Blood Hails Steel, Steel Hails Fire, which was, again, I thought was a pretty good album, but holy shit. Not only did this blow me away, but this ended up being probably one of the best albums that I've heard so far this year. From the warm analog-like recording and the crisp production to the tightly written songs that bleed so much emotion, personality, and character, infectious riffs and melodies, even in the guitar and vocal departments, tight structures that are built around plenty of hooks. It's just great songs. I find this to be a great hybrid of Heavy Load and Middle of the Road, which kind of puts these guys in the same field as Eternal Champion, which they've obviously get compared to. But I would not go as far as to say that these guys are an exact copy of Eternal Champion. To me, I think Megaton Sword, especially on this album, have a more personalized atmosphere that I think sets these guys apart. I mean, just listen to a song like the album closer, Babe Eternal. A ballad, but a fucking brilliant one. So much passion and so much emotion that you can literally feel Uzi and Chain's compassion. It's a beautiful performance, which is one of the main factors into why I think Megaton Sword are separating themselves from others like Eternal Champion, for example. But the songs that I can see someone comparing, though, to like the likes of Eternal Champion, so on, are on the molten metal numbers like Might, which runs at a steamroller-like pacing with pummeling drums and just heavy riffs. And then, of course, Iron Plains, which is, again, on the more melodic side of things, but is still pretty lethal. All Wicked Schemes Unite kind of begins with a, in a folky-esque way, again with those acoustic guitar parts, but moves into a straight-up marching-like metal song. Just killer riffs and killer solos. And then, of course, you have The Raving Light of Day, which is the song that kicks off the album off, is a fantastic song that is just great from the very beginning. Again, it just grabs you and instantly pulls you into this epic, just fantastical metal journey that this album gives you. And then, of course, Cowards Remain is another infectious rocker, just hooks, hooks, hooks. Now it's time for me to get into Rakatsi, which, like Baby Eternal, is filled with emotion, but it's just twice as epic. And I mean not in just the length of the song, but just in the feel of the song. Oh, you just need to hear it for yourself. Now, if my analysis isn't enough of a good description to inspire you to listen to this album, then hopefully the green melting gluttonous abomination that you see on the album cover is what gets you to check this album out. So, there it is, folks. There's my overall thoughts on Might and Power from Megaton Sword, and my rating is a 9.47 out of 10. Shit, this was a really good album, and the thing is, this was actually kind of recommended to me from, well, Stormrider. And thank you for, again, bringing this to my attention, even though I've already been very much aware of this album since I just recently received a CD in the mail that obviously was from Dying Victims Productions, that of course is promoting this fucking album right here. And as you can see, there it is. That's, again, the album cover and stuff, again, promoting the release. And of course, next to it is actually the album that I actually had pre-ordered and just received, which is why I got this. That one. Okay, so if you're at least want to listen to this album and you're right now are inspired, I am going to point you to the description box where I'm going to be leaving links to both Dying Victims Productions Bandcamp page and of course the band's Bandcamp page, where you can support both Dying Victims Productions and Megaton Sword. So with that, I hope all of you enjoyed. This is Heavy Thrash saying I'm out, and I'll see you all later. Take care, everyone.